I'm going to do one of these times. I'm going to do this without recording it, and I'll get done with the show and be like, oh, there's like 30 seconds of recording before I pause it and didn't start it up again. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is sales training. Glad you can join us. And a lot of people are listening to the recording. So it's really good to get any kind of feedback. We're going to go ahead and move this class to 5 o'clock going forward, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So make that work for whatever time zone that you're in. A lot of people are getting jammed up in Arizona. I almost got caught off guard this morning because it's 9 o'clock here instead of 10 o'clock. Arizona is one of those states that doesn't change. So everything changes for us. Again, sales all starts with this one thing. Tell me about your project. What are you working on? I'm drumming that in. It's the first thing I teach everyone. It just works. It works really good to start off that conversation that way. And it goes into this. This is a saying. I've said this to you, but it's something I want you guys all to write down, use, preach it to your sales staff, preach it to everybody, that it's better to understand than to be understood. It's a saying I use over and over again. And something I learned years ago. And what I really discovered was I'm not important. So how long I've been in business, my knowledge, my experience wasn't near as important as all the stuff about that customer. Why are they looking for flooring at this time? What do they have now? What do they not like about it? What would they rather have? What's the reasons that they're changing right now? Is it because they're selling the house and it's going to help them sell the house? Is it because they just moved in and they don't like it there? What do they not like about what they currently have? It's so important. And again, one of the things I learned, the more you listen and the more you understand, the more that customer is going to really like you. So you're asking them questions. Been in conversations before where it's kind of a one-sided conversation where I was doing all the listening, and where you hear a customer respond or somebody respond saying, "Wow, I really like that person. I really like you," and you realize they don't really know anything about you. It's funny. The reason they really like you is because you listen to them and you understand them and you're interested in them. So customers go for that. It works really well just to be a good listener. I find a really good sales presentation is when the salesperson's talking less than 50% of the time. If the customer's talking more, you'll do better. I had one salesperson, we were looking at tile on this job, and the customers, we put down a few tiles, and the salesperson just kept talking and talking. And he was talking over the customer's thoughts. She was just looking, but just that uncomfortable silence, he couldn't deal with it. So he kept selling and kept talking, and it's like you're talking over her thoughts. I told him after we got back in the car, that you needed to allow her to she's thinking and trying to decide what color she likes. So you need to give her some space to think. So again, we're reviewing what we did last time. It's asking these questions. Are they selling the home? They asked you, what do you charge for carpet? So you tell me about your project. What are you working on? So the first question is always, is this for you or are you selling the home? So if they are selling the home, remember, we want to be prepared. If you guys haven't figured that out, figure out what is the things that you want to tell them when they're selling the home. Do you guys carry anything in stock, in inventory, that you can move, that you can deliver fast? Tell them that you have a product. Tell them, oh, good, when you're selling the home, we recommend this. They're going to be thrilled that you recommend. rather than saying, well, you can do anything you want. You know, you can do this or you can do this. If you give them all these choices, that's going to be frustrating for them. But if you say, hey, great, you're selling the home, you know, we've got the perfect product for you. It works really good for people selling the house. It's going to help you sell the house faster for more money. They're going to like it that you've got it together. Now, if they're living there, how long do you plan on living in the home? There's a big difference between somebody that's got a home they're going to live in. And I found this just from listening to customers. They often say we're going to live there 3 to 5 years, and then we're going to rent it or sell it, or they're going to live there the rest of their lives, or they got a busy family. So, you know, probably 10 years or more, but they may not know how long, but you know, by their family, they just moved into this home. This is the home that they want to live in and raise their family in. So knowing that, you know, really guides you on what product to show them. It's so much better than saying, well, do you want polyester or nylon? Do you want luxury vinyl, laminate, or wood? You know, so much better to really understand them and where they're coming from. Because in your sales presentation, you're going to say stuff like, this is going to be good for you, for your busy family. It can put up with the traffic. Your sales presentation is not going to be about the product. It's going to be about them and their situation and what they're looking for. It works really well, you know, and it's going to show them that you listen to them, that you understand them, that you care about them. Again, they're going to really like you because you show that you listen to them. What part of town are you in? Again, so you can establish and set an appointment. Okay, and this is really key. Hey, Ted. This is really key. The next thing that we want to do is decide what action do we want them to take. Just so you know, you missed some of this, Ted, but we're reviewing last week's, and just to make sure you guys get this down. Adding a few more things to it though. So decide in your company, you need to sit down with your sales staff and say, all right, what do we want them to do? And make sure that you lead the dance, you know, that everybody should be on the same page. If you're recommending that, yeah, we come out and do an in-home estimate, this is what we usually do. And they say, well, do you have a showroom? Then sure, invite them to the showroom. But don't give them a choice, because if you give them a choice, they may say, well, we'll come out to the showroom, and then they never show up. Or they show up at a time that you're not there. So, I mean, these are the main choices. Do you want them to come to the showroom, or do you want to offer a free in-home estimate? I recommend everybody offer a free in-home estimate. You got to get in the home in order to do that. If that's not the process that you want to do, then create a good kick-ass process that makes sense and shows them the advantage of going with you and your company. That, again, you've got a process, a system that you've thought through that makes sense. Now, let's just start off with scheduling a free in-home estimate. Don't ever say what time works for you, because they're going to choose a time that doesn't work for them, that doesn't work for you. So I like, do mornings or afternoons work best for you? And then if they say afternoons, great. Can I be there tomorrow at 3 o'clock? Will that work? You know, and they'll tell you what time works better if 3 o'clock won't work, but it'll make it easy to schedule the appointment. It'll go a lot smoother. And it's funny how many salespeople still today say, you know, what time works for you? I had a guy selling me videos. I wanted somebody to shoot a professional video for me. And I posted it on Facebook, and he said, what did you want to pay? I'm like, you know, and I gave him a price, and he's, oh boy, I can't do it for that price. That's just ridiculous. It's like, dude, are you a professional or not? Why did you ask me what I want to pay? If you got a process and a system and a price, why didn't you tell me what that was? Why are you asking me what I want to pay? You know, it was so unprofessional. So, you know, don't ask those questions that customers have a hard time answering. You know, again, lead the dance. I'm going to do a film with the buddy interview for the podcast on Friday, talking about the secrets to shop at home. And, honestly, I don't think there really is any secrets. It's not hard to add shop at home to what you do. There's nothing really unique about it. It is about marketing, having it on your website, having a vehicle on your website works really good because it shows people that you offer free in-home estimates. On your website, having a button that they can click to request a free in-home estimate is key. You need those things. Offering that as the first thing you do is really important. I'm really interested to interview Buddy and ask him, how do they answer the phone? How do they go about offering that in-home estimate? Because they have a showroom and it's by appointment only, which drives me nuts. To me, you're either open or closed, but the by appointment only doesn't really work good because nobody wants to schedule an appointment. Customers want to go when it's convenient for them. They don't want to feel like it's a doctor's appointment. But then it's after that, it's how you set up the appointment. And then are you prepared to measure and close in the home? So we'll get into that further on in other training. We do want to talk about measuring, giving a quote, and closing in the home. Again, Buddy, I'm really interested in his system because they bring the stuff back, they bring the information back, but they have a thought out process that they tell customers, which gives the customer a lot of confidence in them and their process. And that's the thing about a good process. You got a good process that's thought out. It gives customers confidence in you, but it also makes them afraid to use somebody else because nobody has processes that are thought through. We've done secret shoppers, had 20 companies come out. I want to see what their process is. I didn't care what their prices were. But do they have a process? Do they follow up? We were the only company that left an estimate other than Empire allowed them to take a picture of the estimate on the screen. We were one of the only people that followed up. And the secret shopper, I secret shopped my company too. I didn't want my salespeople to know they were being secret shopped because I wanted a fair evaluation of how that went. So we were the only ones that left the estimate behind, a paper estimate. We were quite a bit more expensive, but other people were gravitating to cheaper things, judging this customer. It's just a so much better experience when you are prepared. And we're going to show you a kick-ass sales process, how you guys can be prepared every time. So again, when you're scheduling the in-home estimate, I found that, a lot of this stuff that I'm teaching you guys, it's because of what I've heard my salespeople do in here and asking questions like, what color do you like? Or what style do you like? Those are horrible questions because customers don't know. The vast majority have no idea. So what you want to ask them is, do you know what you want, or would you like me to bring a good selection for you? Look at. I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, oh yeah, would you bring some stuff out? That would be great. The 1 out of 10 is going to say, yes, I'm looking for a Berber carpet, or I'm looking for a medium grade wood look. That very, very few know exactly what they're looking for. Also, how many times have somebody asked for a laminate and they meant luxury vinyl, or they don't know the terminology that well. So they say something. I used to have this in the blind business all the time. People would ask for shutters and they really meant wood blinds, or they would ask for blinds and they meant shutters. They were so far off the mark of what the terminology was, and we kind of took it for granted because we're in the business. So, again, I knew the difference between a horizontal line and a vertical line because I was in the business, but a lot of people don't know that. So we just take it for granted that it's common knowledge. So So just offer to bring the selection. Again, this shows that you're a professional, that you have it together, that you have customers, that you know what the customers want based on how long they plan on living in the home. You know, are they selling it? Are they going to live there? You know what is a good selection that they're going to like. And you have enough variety that you're going to make this easy for them and convenient for them. So tell them what's going to happen next. You know, great, I'm going to send you an email that's going to confirm, or I'll send you a text on the way out there. It's good to have some sort of communication before you come out to the house. All right, people do forget, you know, we've all gone to customers' houses and they weren't there for the appointment. It's very frustrating, but it happens. And they like that additional communication. They love the text message. I'm not a big fan of text messaging, but get on board with it. I mean, no matter what age the customer is, they're into text messaging now. So let's say you don't want to do, some people just don't want to do free and home estimate. They want customers to show a commitment. They want them to come to the showroom. Again, explain your process. All right, great. What we'd like you to do is come on into the showroom. We'll have you select a few samples, and then I'll schedule an appointment with you. I'll let you take the samples home, and then I'll schedule an appointment with you to come out to the house and measure and give you a guaranteed accurate estimate. Does that sound good? And they'll usually say, yeah, okay, that's great. Ask them to do something else for you. Ask them to create a diagram of the flooring, and, you know, ask them, get any measurements that they can. So you can give them a quote in the showroom and give them an idea of what it's going to run. Ask them to take pictures of the area. You know, this isn't hard work for them. It'll benefit you to ask customers to do stuff for you. I learned this from a salesperson. He always said, ask for the water. When you're in this customer's home, ask them for a glass of water. Or when they offer it, accept it. Coffee. If you drink beer and they offer it in the afternoon and that's okay for you, then have a beer. Customers like doing stuff for you. I had one customer that was offering me cookies. And I said, well, hell yeah, I'll take cookies. I love cookies. So I took them, and I was worried I wouldn't like them. So I didn't want to eat them in front of her. So I was taking them to go, and she says, okay, we'll go with you. And the husband said, wait a minute, we got other appointments. And she said, no, he likes my cookies. I'm going to go with him. You know, it makes them feel good to do stuff for you. When you got the customer on the phone and they offer directions, don't say, no, I have GPS. Get the directions from them. They like to help you out. They want to help you out, and that'll make them feel better about you. So ask them for the water, ask them for help. If they're coming into the showroom, ask them to create a diagram, ask them to get photos. You're asking them to do that so you can help serve them better. Nobody else is going to ask them to do that for them. But if you do that, they're going to like you better because you really are interested in decorating them and decorating their project, giving them a good experience. Look, some people charge for the in-home estimate. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your process, explain it, and explain it in a good, sexy way. So, you know, we like our customers to come in, select a few samples. We can, if you create a diagram, give us some photos. We can give you an idea of what it's going to cost. We do charge for the estimate. It's $75 fee that we give back to you on your project. So if you can give us some measurements, you know, we can give you an idea of what the cost is going to be in the showroom. There, and we do offer a guaranteed accurate in-home estimate for just $79. That'll get credited towards your purchase. I don't do that here at Carpets of Arizona. We don't have that system or process. I'm just saying, if you guys do have that process and you want to do that, nothing wrong with it. Just make it professional and show people that you have this process. And as you're explaining this, it's telling them this is what our customers do. So you're validating it by saying, this is what we do all the time. Yeah, we have customers come in. We do charge, we're really busy right now. We do charge for the estimate, but we give you an idea so you know what it's going to cost roughly when we come out to your house. So most people know, we know that most people are going to go with us by the time we go out. So they just put that 79, we put it towards your deposit. You can make it sound matter of fact, like you're going to get their job. This is just the process that you go through. So you don't want to say anything like, yeah, I know other people offer a free in-home estimate, or I don't like saying things that show people that they have a choice. Like, we're cheaper, we're faster, we're better. When you use words like that, to me, you're saying that you're cheaper than who? You're better than who? You're telling customers, to me, that they have a choice. And I think the language you use wants to show a customer that you are the best option for them. You're the only option for them. And this is the experience they're going to have doing business with you. And don't give them a choice of doing business with you or somebody else. Just treat it as a matter of fact that they're going with you. You can do that right through to the close. Okay, so on that didn't come up. There it goes. So on this stuff, have you guys used it? Are you getting used to it? Is the refresher good? Any kind of feedback on this, any information that we covered just now? Does it make sense to you? Do you, Frank, do you listen to other people in the showroom, other salespeople? And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Our the owner of our company, Steve, is a truly a seasoned sales professional. And whenever I have an opportunity, I just sit and listen. We're pretty close quarters in our showroom, and it's not hard to do and be inconspicuous. But we also have another fellow here. His name is Kyle, and he's been with Steve for 14 years, and he's just a machine. He's really good at what he does. And whenever I have an opportunity, I'll just stand in the next room and I'll just kind of listen to how he's dealing with people. And every once in a while, you get a snippet of something that works. As far as what you've been talking about, I've used the first class that I listened in on was tell me about your process. What are you doing? We get lots of people who call in. I want an estimate on my floor, and well, and our program is a little bit different than yours. Whereas we encourage folks to come to the showroom first and make a couple of selections, bring them home with them. I always tell them you want to make sure you see them in your own light, you see it against your cabinetry, your furniture, et cetera, et cetera. And then we go for the appointment. But it's refreshing to be able to know what to say when they just call in and say, well, I need a price. And they're not even telling you what they want. They I just want a price on flooring.
Right.
Well, gee, can you tell me a little bit about your project? What are you doing? It's a nice way to get them away from talking about price and talking about what they're really doing, and then following up with, well, is this a house you're going to stay in? Is this a new house to you? Are you staying just a short period of time? Is it your forever home? Those are all great questions that I've used in the last couple of weeks, and they're starting points to get a conversation going, instead of here's my price and okay, thank you, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I find a lot of people will give a range of answers that are irrelevant because it matters if they're going to move in the home or not. Why are you telling somebody that's selling the house, about your beautiful pattern carpet that they're not going to be interested in, or
Right.
expensive
And
flooring.
people will really press. Well, I just want a price. Can't you just please give me your price? And I often tell them, listen, until I can get to your home and measure and see your existing conditions, I really can't comfortably give you a price. And I do that simply because I've been burned in the past, especially with tile. People, well, can't you just tell me what it's going to cost to do the 700 feet of tile? Well, first time someone asked me that, I gave them a ballpark, and I told them how much I thought it would be per foot. Well, when I get out to the house, I find out that everything is set diagonal and she'd like it done that way again. Everything is going to be cut tight to the walls. There's going to be no baseboard. And I was off by $4,000. And of course, she was upset and ended up going with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't guess anymore.
And again, I think it's learning how to navigate that versus abandoning it. I think it's okay still to give the price, but learning how. Like, the one thing I learned, when people come in with their own measurements, they're off by, for carpet specifically, they are off by 20% on average. And it happens so frequently that I wrote it on the back of our diagram. And having it written down like that just validates, what I'm saying. So I'm not making this up. And then I give them a small explanation as to why. So I'm setting and building up the expectations right there. And then we can get into the stuff. So again, we'll get into this later. There's personality profiles. There are people that want to buy like right now. And I've had salespeople that say what you said, in order to give you a price, I need to come in the home and measure. And this is when somebody comes into the showroom with their own measurements, or the salespeople will say, I'd really like you to take the sample home and make sure that you like this, and it's like, you've got a customer who wants to buy, sell them, take their money. Their agenda is to get this off their plate and they want to get this going. So you could still mitigate some things, take the deposit, give them the sample, let them take it home. Just give me a call back when you get home and verify that you like that one, and we'll get that going. And if you don't, I'll come out, and when I come out and do the measuring, I'll bring a couple other samples out. But
that's something I do. That's something I do. If they call me and say, hey, I don't like these, I'm going to bring them back. Well, what didn't you like about them? And maybe I can, let's set up a time. I can be out there tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'll bring something that, just let me know what you want. Yeah. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Jerry, I've got a conference call that I got to head out to right now. Sorry to cut it short. I'm going to listen in on the recording to catch the last little bit here.
Yeah, I'm going to leave a message for you. So when you go, just listen to the recording, and I'll give this last tidbit. So I'll see you next week, Frank. And
okay. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Our time. When you have somebody that wants to buy now and they're in your showroom, sell them. I've taken many deposits and many jobs and sold people that, again, I had somebody come from about 150 miles away that wanted carpet, and sure enough, they were way off. And I sent the installer with more carpet, knowing that they might be off. They were off a dramatic amount, and told them that if they need more carpet, then we'll charge them for the additional carpet. And they were fine with that. They were thrilled. They were so thrilled to get this done, because it's Saturday afternoon. They're driving all over. They're trying to get this going, and other people wanted to come out, wanted to measure, wouldn't do that. I just sold them the carpet, and gave them the price, and charged them extra for going a further distance, so that's the other thing is how to handle that. We'll cover that as well. But if you got somebody that's far out, you might tell them that, well, we usually will charge you a little bit extra, but if you can give me measurements and all that, I don't do a free in-home estimate, but yeah, we will work in that area. I just need to know for sure that you are going to go with us. So you have that respectful conversation. So, and again, a lot of this I get from listening to my salespeople in here, and when they get jammed up with something, a lot of these processes right from the beginning of tell me about your project, you know, I created these processes from hearing them get jammed up on things. Are your installers employees or are they subcontractors? You know, and just sloppy answers. Why are you guys so much more expensive than everybody else? And I'm hearing her go, well, you know, we have overhead and we have this and this. I just cringing. It's like, you know, we need to figure out poor Cheryl. She's like one of our best salespeople, but it's always her I hear with other people. And it's always her that that I pick on in our sales meetings to say, okay, we need to answer this better. So Jennifer is asking, how do you answer the installer question? And it was funny, we did get that question often enough that we need to be prepared. And now we have a kick-ass answer. We have the installation incentive program. So our installers will ask you after the job is done, how was it? And our installers are subcontractors, but since we created this review process, we get a lot more 5-star reviews. The installers are more professional. We're getting great reviews from them. So the experience, because we want your experience to be really good. So this installation incentive programs really helped. Okay, none of you guys have that. It's something we created not that long ago. So you might answer that by saying that you do call, and this is a good thing to do, call the customer and ask them how the installation went and would they rate the installer, and start keeping track of the installer rating. And once you tell the installers that you're rating them and you're asking the customers, that'll make the installers behave more professionally. You know, people think that installers perform based on pay. No, they don't. No installer is going to do a better job for more pay. No installer that does a great job is going to do less of a great job if you don't pay them as well. You know, it's just in them to do the job that they're going to do. Now, they're going to be more professional when you start grading them, measuring their performance, when you're letting customers rate them, you share those ratings with them. You know, tell your installers you got a 5-star review, make a printout of it and give it to them. You know, give them little bonuses. And a $50 gas card is better than $50 cash right now. You know, so that's really appreciated. So there are things you guys can do to make your installers perform better. It has absolutely nothing to do with the pay. But then be prepared for that answer, you know, when you're talking to your customers and they ask you that question, and make sure your whole team is prepared to answer that question. You guys should have weekly sales meetings, and in those sales meetings, talk about that. How are we going to answer this question? What can we say that sets us apart from the competition? What can we say that the competition can't say? You know, so most of them are going to say, yeah, they're subcontractors, and almost apologize for it. And the fact is we're the ones warranting their work, not the installers. And what I don't like a lot of companies will do is they make the installers warranty their work. Well, what if that installer moves? What if they get injured? What if they're not working for you anymore? You know, I don't want you to have to hassle with that. So I'm warranting the installation, not the installer. I stand behind you. You know, so a lot of people that are using subcontractors, they're probably, you know, they're not going to warranty or do the work because they're going to want the installer to do that. And it's very frustrating. So we don't do that to you. Again, there's a good answers that you can come up with. Just think it through a little bit. And again, if you need help on that, let me know. Let me know your process. I'll clean up the language and something that you guys can say every time when you run across that challenge. All right, you guys. Thanks again for joining.
Thanks, Jerry.
You bet, Ted. I'll put out an announcement that will change the times and to 5 and see if that works better for everybody. I'd go earlier, but I don't want to go earlier. So, and everybody's naturally busy in the mornings. So I think later in the day might work a little bit better for people to make the call.
And I appreciate the follow-up because I missed last week, but it's nice to have it, and I'm archiving them for future sales staff too.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Those recordings are going to live on YouTube. So you guys have the addresses for them and hang on to that, put them in a file folder somewhere. And so you can give that to new salespeople.
Yep.
When you
Thank
do
you.
that, when you give that to a new salesperson, you know, feed it to them slowly. Don't give them 10 videos and say, go over all this stuff, you know, because they won't pick up most of it. So 1 or 2 at a time, have them watch the video and then discuss the video with them. Discuss it, because these aren't long videos. It's not, you know, huge topics, but let them learn as they go. All right, gang. So I will see you guys next week. Meanwhile, if you have any trouble, you get jammed up with anything, let me know. Helps everybody to figure out what you might be having trouble with, because everybody's having the same challenges. So if I can answer a question for you during the week, and in about an hour or so, I'll get you the video for this week. All right, guys, have a good week.
Thank you.